I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch You Want, and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the IWC 5009-6 Big Pilot's Watch Father, part of a special edition for 2012. The Father, 46mm in stainless steel, can be seen and purchased on our website, watchyouwant.com. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now, the Father is one big daddy. Let me emphasize that the watch is 46mm across the diagonal portion, the narrowest rounded portion of the case, but lug to lug it measures an immense 56mm, 16mm thick. This is the watch for the guy with the tree trunk wrist who just cannot get enough size out of conventional Rolex or Omega. Big, comfortable, and remarkably flamboyant. This is a watch that cannot be missed. It's exuberant, it's exciting, and it makes a statement. It's also a wonderfully tasteful alternative to the all-gold gem set Hublot or Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore, because it's doing all of this with base metals, not precious metal gaudiness. You can see a full rhodium-plated dial. It's not something that's often seen. Rhodium generally is used to create resistance against corrosion within brass movements. It's something that's generally used on the unseen or only case-back visible interior of a watch. To see it on the dial of a watch is stunning, and with a radial sunburst pattern and a distinct graining texture to the metal, it becomes even more pronounced. Now, 46mm, again, reads even larger because of the immense ratio of dial, itself lustrous and metallic, to bezel, which is pared down and almost halo-like. The watch essentially reads as an unbroken continuity of brushed metal. It's very dramatic, and it has a gorgeous radiance in direct light. You can see even with the sort of diffused light in my light box, as I turn this one toward the light source, the reflection, the almost amplification of the light into the grained rhodium is blinding, just like a beautifully finished Swiss movement itself. Now, from an ergonomic standpoint, IWC does a pretty good job of making this one compatible with a smaller wrist. Once again, to show you the wrist shot on my forearm, 16 centimeters in circumference. The look is huge, but there are very few wrists that will not look a little bit out of proportion in relation to this watch. That's the idea of it. That's really its hallmark and its calling card, and it achieves it with a sort of deft tool watch logic that's second to none, because the bolt-fixed, square-cut, almost rectangular cross-section alligator leather strap looks the business and actually feels like something that would be used on a no-holds-barred utility instrument. It feels like you could hang a truck from the ceiling with this thing. That's how thick it is. That's how sturdy it feels. Now, on the underside, monotone but calf skin right here. So what actually touches the skin is quite supple, but on the tops, this thing feels thick enough to stop a bullet. You definitely have the feel of a hardcore utilitarian instrument, but with imagery that is upscale luxury. Now, it's actually the second of the IWC Father models, because this was the second of the Father and Son Special Series. The first came during the 2008 IWC 140th Anniversary Jubilee. The second came during the 2012 so-called Year of the Pilot's Watch, and I can explain some of the differences. Neither one of them was a numbered series, but the first Father was very different. It was a 5004. It featured a sort of simulated radium patina ecru luminescent treatment on the dial, and perhaps most significantly, that watch was platinum. So you had well over half a pound of Big Pilot's watch on your wrist. This is the one to own. First and foremost, because legibility is improved by the use of black oxidized hands and black indices outboard of the Arabic numerals of the hour track, and of course all black minute/seconds hash marks around the circumference. A black contrasting date disc makes for excellent readability, and the power reserve actually blends into the background, becoming useful when you need it, but unobtrusive when you're not specifically looking for it. The classical profile of the 2002 to present Big Pilot's watch is present and accounted for. You get that look of the 1940s Luftwaffe, BR, or the Type 52 TSC, sometimes it's called because of the movement that powered it. This one is not powered by the Type 52 TSC, but IWC's contemporary caliber 51111. It's a modern automatic winding 7-day power reserve movement with 42 joules IWC continues to tout it as the world's largest automatic winding wristwatch movement, and there's very little to prove to the contrary. The watch holds that title, and with 168 hours of power reserve, it's big in more ways than one. This is the kind of watch that you can wear occasionally. If you have a rotation and you view this as a little too sensational for daily use, rest assured it's going to continue keeping the time, even if you only wind it once a week. Now, it does have a secret 24-hour power reserve with two purposes. First, IWC, in developing what was then known as the 5000 series in 2000, their modern automatic winding movement, decided that the watch kept best time for 7 of the 8 potential days of power reserve, so they created a mechanism to lock out that last 24 hours, so whenever the watch is running, you know that it's running with isochronism and precision. And second, because there is always that little reserve kick ready to spur the watch back into action, as soon as the rotor starts to move, and you have even incrementally more than 24 hours of power reserve, there's enough energy to start the mainspring turning, the balance oscillating, and the seconds hand ticking immediately with no hesitation. 42 joules, it does have a free-sprung balance wheel with a handmade Breguet overcoil, so not only is it resistant to shock like a modern sports watch movement should be, but no matter what position you leave it in, it has excellent resistance to positional timing deviation. Of course, the winding system is IWC's classical Peloton bidirectional pawl-based system, so not only is the winding system remarkably efficient, but being one of the few that's actually shock protected internally, it's also very durable. The watch itself features the classical Big Pilot's onion-style crown. It is a screw-down, and it has, surprising for a pilot's watch, 6 ATM of water resistance. So this is a little bit of a cut above the typical splash or rain resistance that you get in most pilot watches. It is a pilot's watch in every sense, so in addition to water resistance, you have a solid caseback over an anti-magnetic shield, more protection for the movement against the slings and arrows of daily life, especially around high-powered office equipment. But there's more, because the watch features two ways to put this, decompression or explosive blowout protection. So if you are in an aircraft that rapidly loses pressure in its cabin, the sapphire crystal is not going to pop out. IWC understands that this is, for the most part, a high-profile article of modern men's fashion and a luxury product, but if you are that 1 in a million guy who wants to use it as intended, it's absolutely up to snuff from a mechanical standpoint. Rugged, robust, refined, and rare. This is not just one of the few cases where you can purchase the 5009 Father, but it is one of the only occasions that you will see this watch offered without also requiring you to purchase the Sun, the Spitfire model. This is an outstanding example to get a standout watch, not just at a fantastic price and on fantastic terms, but if you are just a fan of the Big Pilot style, this is your chance to get it in isolation and fly solo. You can see it and take it home on our website, watchyouwant.com.